Ciao a tutti amici di Spazio Games, qui Forte Luca, siamo presso gli studi milanesi di Microsoft per assistere alla presentazione di Forza Motorsport 3, il nuovo capitolo della simulazione automobilistica Microsoft in uscita il 23 ottobre per Xbox 360. Nel nostro incontro con Dan Greenwood siamo rimasti colpiti dalla sua grande presenza scenica, dalla passione con la quale parla del suo lavoro, ma anche dalla schiettezza di alcune sue risposte. Ma non c'è troppo da stupirsi, il nostro interlocutore ha intrapreso un percorso molto singolare prima di approcciarsi al mondo dei videogiochi. Egli possiede infatti una laurea in religione comparata, è un istruttore di arti marziali, ma, nonostante queste referenze, si è avvicinato al game design come esperto di fisica per i giochi di corsa. Un personaggio davvero singolare, ma lo scoprirete dalle sue stesse parole.
I'm Dan Greenwald, I'm the game director on Forza Motorsport 3. Well, if you're familiar with how downloadable content worked in Forza Motorsport 2, it's exactly the same. So the first disc is 300 cars, ton of cars, they can all be damaged, all customized, all everything, right? It's got a full single-player career, all of the features of the game, and it's got a ton of tracks. The second disc is like a free year's worth of DLC. You just install it, you can install it in pieces, or you can install the entire thing, and it automatically integrates into the career. Well, you know, Forza's really big game. We've done a lot of features. In fact, in a lot of presentations, it's hard to know what to focus on because there's any one of our features, most games would kind of call out as like their shining light. We've got this brand new thing. But the strength of Forza is how comprehensive it is. We have so many features, and they allow the player to feel like they have a game kind of custom built for them. So obviously we've got beautiful graphics. The things we're doing in physics and tire simulation are, you're just not going to find another racing game for a few years. And that's due to the partnerships we have. Now, the game's playable by a 6-year-old because of things like Rewind, which, you know, is in dirt and it's in grid. It's just something that racing games should do, just like our Green Line. But, you know, honestly, it's the community. Because community is where we're not just raising the bar for the racing genre, but we're actually raising the bar and saying, blazing new ground for where interactive entertainment can go with user-generated content. By creating more of a social network, by giving people their own storefronts, similar to something like eBay stores, and allowing you to tag people and rate things, kind of like Netflix and YouTube. We're really trying to bring in more of a social component to gaming. And that's not just racing. I mean, I think a first-person shooter, an RTS, any of those games would naturally look to Forza as, oh wow, they did that, that was cool, we didn't like that, we did like that, we're just a new model. We have not integrated any of the features from the new dashboard update. It's really cool to see. I've seen some great demos for it, and it's obviously something we'll look at in the future, but we don't have any of that functionality in yet. Part of my job is to be looking at the competition, so I play tons of racing games. But I'm not really inspired by the other racing games. What I do is I look for them to set the bar and say, these are the features that a modern racing game has. So there's some games that are great at graphics, and some that are great at gameplay, and some are pretty good with multiplayer. And that's sort of where their strength is. And what we've tried to do is make a game that has beautiful graphics, that has the best physics you're going to find, that has great gameplay, that's innovative and fun and addictive, and yet easy for a kid to get into. And then we do things with community that's not just leaps and bounds above our competitors, but it's pretty innovative in the entire genre, not just the entire racing genre, but the entire interactive entertainment world. It's too bad. I don't know. I mean, I play racing games. It's too bad it's delayed. The issue is that in 2007, when we shipped Forza Motorsport 2, I came here to Milano, and we did a Forza Motorsport event. And Gran Turismo was supposedly going to ship 6 months after that. So it's now 6 months after us again. I don't know. Maybe it'll ship, maybe it won't. I think everyone is very excited for it, which is great. Of course. And that's to be expected. The idea that someone doesn't play their competition is either foolhardy, they're either foolish, or it's not true. you have to play the competition. Yeah, there were 2 developers from PD that came over to our booth over at E3, and they were playing the game and taking photographs and writing lots of notes. And so our studio manager walked over and said, "Hey, you know, do you guys want to talk?" And they were fairly open. I think they were a little bit guarded because we don't have an open dialogue between the studios like we do with Epic and like we do with Cody's and Bizarre and so many other companies. But once they kind of warmed up to the idea, they were saying, yeah, Rewind seems like a cool feature, and that's just the nature of game development. You know, we're all people passionate about making great games. You can always do more. It's a very powerful piece of hardware, and it comes down to learning tricks. And when you have an open development community, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So we learn from the releases of Halo, we learn from the releases from BioWare and from Lionhead. Everybody learns new tricks about the box, and we're one of the few titles on the 360 that runs at 60 frames per second. And that's what every racing, this is my opinion. In my opinion, every racing game should run at 60 frames per second. But that's hard to do. And so you need to work with your development community at GDC, sharing notes and figuring out how can we optimize. And it's a very open community. We share things quite a bit. Well, every year we release more games as a collective community, and everybody learns new tricks and they publish new papers, and there's always more to get out of the box. Natal's a very exciting technology, and I see huge potential there as a designer. But I don't know what the next thing for Turn 10 is. We all need to go on holiday. We've been working very hard. The demo's out. People can go download it. The game's going to be out October 23rd, and we are going to take a well-deserved break. And when we get back, we'll talk about what's the future in hold for the studio, but I don't even know. And I probably ought to know, and I don't. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.